You all must have heard I'm a real nerd. People say I'm a fool, but they never got the news that I'm a wild one. Oh yeah, I'm a wild one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel down, cause you're watching Vilemike and his real wild child. Oh yeah, I'm a wild one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel down, cause you're watching Vilemike and his real wild child.
Howdy folks, it's Vilemike here. I'm about to cross the border back into the States, so it's time for me to open a Kinder Egg. Just one this time. This is one of the animal ones that Mrs. Vile got me. Got it unwrapped already. Let's see if I can get it nice and perfect. Oh, look at that, that's perfect. We'll set that off to the side. So what animal did we get?
A few moments later.
We got Happy Feet again.
I found a new place to dwell.
Oh well. Well, that's it, folkses. I'll see you next time. Later.
And
Sorry.
next week, Vilemike will cut the "Do not remove under the penalty of law" label they put on a mattress.
Yep. All right. I don't know what you're trying to do, LDG, but if that creates feedback and when I bring it up, I'm going to be mad. LDG? Okay, I'm going to bump him down on this side, and I'll bring up the other one.
There's no feedback. God dang it, I just told you I was heading to the store, so I was coming over in my cell phone. No
was
feedback.
that while I was trying to get stuff ready because I wasn't paying attention?
Yeah, I know that, but we're good. Hello, everyone.
It's a nice circle top window. I like that.
Oh, the one on the garage or the one on the
Circle top window. The one on the right, the one with the circle top.
So the one with the semicircle.
That's called a circle top window.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know that kind of architecture terms, but I would call it a semicircle.
I didn't name it.
No, there's an actual name for it. It's called shit. It's got a weird name to it. I just can't think of the word right now.
Yeah, how you doing, Indy? How you doing, Richie?
If you do a Google search under circle top window, you will see exactly what I'm talking about.
How you doing, Melissa? And Jordan was here earlier, so I think that's everybody who said something in the stream. But, yeah, I get jury duty this week. I got to take time off from friggin' work, and my boss is already like, "Oh, are we gonna have to get someone to cover for you?" And I'm like, "Depends on how much overtime you want to give me, because I'll be happy to keep working my same hours, but I'll be working like 12-hour days, 4 days this week." So, and if you got a new video out, Indy, post the link. I think you're a mod, aren't you? If not, hold on. I got to mute myself for a second. Well, that was some riveting conversation while I was gone.
Sorry, I'm gonna head back to my desk here.
Hey, I'm the
What were
one
you doing,
showing the
Darren? Like you
driving
were
here.
getting a
What the
trash
hell?
can.
You guys want to have a crash test dummy stream? Here we go.
It was playing. Well, considering, like always, I'm doing the stream from my car. You're in your car, Darren. Time to get in your car, man.
No, I don't want to do it in my car. I don't have a phone that I can take with me into my car. So, gotta remember, I use a Sonim XP5.
I try to usually use my laptop while I'm in the car.
Yeah, I don't have a laptop right now either.
In fact, I just got a new inverter. Because on Tuesday, when I started my car yesterday, or not yesterday, on Tuesday, my old inverter caught fire. I started the engine and I blew a fuse, and it caused a feedback surge and caused my inverter to start sparking and smoking. So it didn't actually catch fire, but you know what I mean.
Geez, Indy, your video is over an hour long.
Much better.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
It'll give me something to listen to because I'm gonna. After the stream, I'm driving down to Mexico because Mrs. Vile's been out at Guadalajara visiting family for 2 weeks, and I haven't seen her, so I want to go see her.
That's such a great name, Guadalajara. I like that. Go ahead.
Say that again?
I like that name, Guadalajara. It's one of the few multi-syllable Mexican type names that I can pronounce correctly on the first try.
Except it's Guadalajara, not Guadalajara.
Oh, is it Guadalajara? Well, okay, then I guess I'm my favorite anymore.
But wait a second. Did Darren just get corrected on a word?
It's not an English language word, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah. But remember, I get corrected by Mrs. Vile all the time. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm still mispronouncing it. And she'll be like, it's not Guadalajara, it's something else. And, but yeah.
Indy's video is over an hour long. I'll watch that a little bit later on today. It looks like the topic is one that several of us have hinted at for many years now. So we'll look at that after the stream here.
Yeah, I'll give it a listen to while I'm driving down to Mexico. But yeah, I thought we'd start off by telling some stories.
You need a GoPro or something because we're just looking at the floor most of the time here. You know, you need something you can wear, like either on your hat or on your chest or something, or on your belly button. That would probably be better. Then we get a real advanced look.
Snickers. Hashtag not sponsored.
You are in. You are a diabetic. You need to put that away. You might die now from having touched the wrapper.
But I was telling Darren and LDG during before the show started that I literally got my first jury duty summons like a couple weeks after turning 18 while still in high school.
Yeah.
And the funniest part about it was, it was right after winter vacation ended, and the school was like, we can't really, give you time off to go to jury duty. And I'm like, well, I have to go or else, it's literally a crime. So they gave me one excused absence day. So I was like, I can't get called on for jury duty. And, of course, that means that I'm selected to get interviewed by the attorneys. About 30 of us go up and they start asking us questions. And the case was about a cop who had he was being sued for excessive violence. So it was the defendant was actually suing the city. So I told the attorney that I was pissed off at the cops because I had just gotten pulled over on my way to the courthouse, which was a bald-faced lie. So they didn't select me.
I don't know why people make up all these excuses to get out of jury duty. All you got to do is say, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. You're dismissed. You don't have to make up any kind of excuse.
I don't know. Maybe it's a different in every state. I don't know.
Well, Elihu and I are in the same state, but I didn't know that back then.
Yeah, you don't have to make up any kind of excuse on your little piece of paper. It's like, why should you not be chosen for jury duty? I don't want to be here. This is stupid. This is dumb. You are not chosen. You are not competent enough for this. Yeah. All you got to do is write something stupid like that. You are never going to be chosen.
Sorry, I'm liking Richie's comment. I watched the first few minutes of Indy's video, and I already disagree with him on a few points.
Yeah, TOS was episodic. The others were continuity. That's why.
Well, we tend to give a lot of things that happened in TOS a pass just because they were still trying to figure things out. I've said this before. The name of the organization everybody worked for was in flux, episode to episode. Yeah. It was, it's. I'm sure Indy's going to be very thorough in his video here that I'll be watching later on. And
when me and Caddy were doing our reviews of it, we kept making jokes about how how some of the stuff was kind of misogynistic or a little bit racist, but at the same time, it was very woke for the time period.
So it's TOS.
I wouldn't call it woke.
Talking about TOS, Elihu, so thank you for keeping up.
I wouldn't call it woke. The woke wasn't even a thing back then. I would call it more progressive or more egalitarian, perhaps.
Actually, Darren, if you take the definition of woke, what woke is...
There is no definition of woke. I know. There is no definition of woke.
That's what I'm saying. If you take what they say the definition of what woke is, and you actually apply it to what TOS is, it's the exact same thing.
No, Elihu.
Not really.
No, it's not.
First of all, woke is different to different people. That's the thing I've noticed is that there's one group of people will say it means one thing, another will say it means another. So I tend to avoid using the word woke because I like to be more precise.
Darren, when I'm saying woke in this context, I'm talking about the stuff that most conservative Republicans seem to be against nowadays. Period. But
I wouldn't agree with that at all.
But the original term woke is actually from like the 1920s. So
no, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, they're claiming that now because they want to have some sort of authority
because
in command of the word, but that's
it was used in black culture songs, like jazz and stuff back then. So yeah, it was
right. So it wasn't used in a political sense, right?
It was.
I'm not saying that nobody put the four letters together and spelled out the word woke. I'm talking about the use that you are using right now.
I'm talking about when they would use the term woke, it meant for someone who had been awakened to the injustices of the police against black people. Mm-hmm. That's how they used it in the 20s.
That's a very specific meaning, and I don't think that it applies to, especially early Star Trek. Early Star Trek was very conservative.
No, I completely agree. I completely agree on you at that point. I'm talking about the way that woke is used as a buzzword by certain people.
Right.
Early Star Trek absolutely applies.
I don't think it applies at all, but that's fine.
Well, how so?
Because I just got done saying it was very conservative, actually, especially compared to what we have today.
I didn't say it wasn't, but I said that's what I was saying is when we did our reviews, we would point out things that were kind of racist or misogynist because of the time period, not because of they were intentionally trying to be so. But at the same time, they would do stuff like, have a very culturally diverse crew, including, in the second season, having a Russian during the height of the Red Scare. Or just after the Red Scare.
Yeah, and, they can call that leftist, but it really wasn't. It honestly wasn't. The egalitarian nature of Star Trek at the time was something that conservatives were striving for. The humans still believed in God. There were all kinds of things there that conflict with the idea that it was woke. So that's why I won't use that term for that. So.
Well, I personally, I think woke is just a buzzword nowadays.
Yeah, I don't use it for that purpose. Yeah. Sorry, I'm right in the middle of something. So.
But let's get back to jury duty, because that's also something that I wanted to talk about. Do you guys have any jury duty stories?
Yeah, that was a dumb movie. I hated it.
Yeah, terrible.
You guys?
I don't think anybody has any jury duty stories. Well, Mike.
No, I never said it on jury because of the statement I made. When I write on there, I was like, I don't want to be here. This is dumb, this is stupid. Yeah, I don't do jury duty, man.
Yeah.
Have you ever been a part of a jury, Darren?
No.
God dang. I thought this was something a lot of people had done because, it's our civic duty.
Well, if we get called upon, a lot of us probably would do it, but we haven't gotten called upon.
Wait, how many times have you been called upon to do jury duty in your entire life, Darren?
None.
Really?
I get called every year.
I get called like every couple of years.
Yeah, that's because they know what my political leanings are, and they know I'm a veteran, so they don't call on me. That's the joke. I don't actually believe that's the reason, but that's
yeah. I mean, just with the job I have now, this is the third time I've got jury duty in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of shocked. And Richie's like, I've never sat on a jury, but I got as far as jury selection once. So
no, I would never be picked because I have medical exemption.
Now, I've been sued. I mean, we can, if you want to talk about that, I got a little bit probably share, but
well, who was trying to sue you?
A jerky franchise.
Wait, like actual beef jerky, or they were just acting jerky?
No, a beef jerky franchise.
Why were they trying to sue you?
Well, it was this little matter of the wrong product got put out on the shelves. And during the COVID shutdown, they sent a private investigator to take pictures of the store through the open. It was in a mall, an outdoor mall. And they took pictures and they caught like one or two items that had their branding on it. So they tried to sue me for basically trademark violation. What happened was we had some stuff from the old store in the back, and one of the employees got confused, put the wrong stuff out, and I got dismissed from the case. It was not a big deal, but it was a pain in the ass, because I had to drive to Madison, and deliver a deposition, and it was a big fiasco. But I mean, just a minor thing like that, when somebody wants to sue you, it's a big production. You have to hire lawyers. You got to do all kinds of shit. And,
yeah. When SD GameSwap was still selling at the Santee Swap Meet in San Diego, I had come across a guy who lived down in Tijuana, and what happened was he managed a storage facility, but not for people. It was a storage facility for companies like Walmart, Costco, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And one of the companies failed to pay their rent. Mm-hmm. So they had to auction off all the stuff that was in their warehouses. Mm-hmm. That company was Apple.
Oh, wow.
And what was in that stuff was Apple iPod parts, iPhone parts, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he was selling basically one of his guys bought the warehouse and was selling off the stuff inside for like pennies on the dollar. I'm talking like brand new iPod screens for like 2 cents because he was selling them for like, 100 for $1 type thing.
Insane.
So I got a whole bunch of these parts for extremely cheap, and I started repairing Apple products at the swap meet. I don't know how Apple found out about it because I didn't advertise it anywhere, but they sent me a cease and desist letter.
Wow.
Saying that they were going to sue me if I didn't, 1, stop repairing their products, or 2, paid $30,000 for the license to repair their products. And at the time, I only made like $20,000 a year from this business. So I was not going to be doing that at all. Is he actually sitting down to eat?
Yes, he is. He went to like Chinese restaurants.
It wouldn't surprise me if he's giving us an impromptu mukbang.
It's summer. It's Sunday lunch.
You're at a Chinese restaurant.
Lunch.
What did you get, man? I'm trying to figure out how.
When are you gonna do that salad mukbang we talked about? When are you gonna not mute yourself?
Yeah, he's talking to a muted phone.
As soon as I find a good salad place.
All right. I thought you found one already.
All the salad places over here, like Ruby Tuesdays, is closed down.
But yeah, I ended up talking to one of the law firms I used to work for about it, and they basically told me just stop repairing their stuff because if they do decide to sue you, you're basically out of business. Because at the time, I was an LLC. I'm sorry. At the time, I was incorporated, which meant if they did decide to sue me, I was liable for a lot of the costs, and I couldn't do that. That's why now technically SD GameSwap is an LLC.
Yeah, that's how they kill competition from smaller companies. They have a legal department that can endlessly keep them and drain them of their finances to and that's how DC Comics got rid of Fawcett Publications as a competitor when the original Captain Marvel comic came out, Shazam. They just felt that Captain Marvel was a little too close to Superman, and they just kept a paper trail on him, and that was contributed to them going out of business. And then DC just bought all the rights to Shazam, and that was it.
And now the two are in movies together.
Yeah, it's the DC version of Captain Marvel is very different from the Fawcett version, but that's another discussion.
But yeah, that's why to this day though I still have a grudge against Apple. I won't buy their products. I won't use their products. I give anyone who owns Apple products crap.
Yeah, my problem with Apple products are that they start out really neat, but they're designed to last somewhere, in the neighborhood of the length before the next one comes out.
Yeah,
they always seem to go on the fritz right around the time your contract is up or it's time to buy a new one or another one comes out. And
like I'm literally using a Samsung phone that I've had for about 5-6 years now, based on an 8-year-old design, and it still runs just fine. I have very few issues with it, other than the fact that because it's so old, it only has 8 gigabytes of storage. So I'm consistently having to delete apps just so I can keep, certain ones running. But other than that, it still runs. It's literally running apps that my more modern phone that I use as a backup can't run. I've got a Galaxy Note 3 that Caddy gave me, her old phone. That phone can't run like the McDonald's app, but my older phone can.
Yeah, crazy how that works.
And they're both. These are both Galaxy phones. These are both Samsung phones. So It's amazing how the older one is just better.
Yeah, my older
But I
phone
find-
has a better camera than my new one.
Yeah, that's why I use the one that she gave me as for games and for when I record the Kinder videos, I record it on there because the camera is better.
Yeah, I agree,
hell-
Jordan. We do not need to watch LDG.
Well, in that case, if people are going to complain about it, then maybe I should drop him down a little bit. He's not even on screen right now, though.
He's yeah. I personally I don't like it when people watch me eat. It's harder for me to do it. You know,
I turn off my camera when I eat.
it's kind of like taking a dump. You know, you don't want people looking at you when the food comes out. Why would you want people looking at you when the food comes in?
Oh, you're not an ODP?
Whatever that is.
Open door pooper.
No, well, because I live alone, I can do that. Except when I've got my microphone on, I've learned, not to do that. But, yeah, I'm not an open door pooper.
Well, neither am I. But I was making the joke. And Dandelion's in the chat. How you doing, Dandelion? Of course, she has his joined right as I'm talking about open door pooper.
Of course, she happens to walk in.
Yeah, the fluff is here. Alrighty. Look how hairy he is now. I mean, remember, he used to like shave his head and his beard, and he looked like a ball sack. Now he's like, I don't know what he's trying to go for now.
Florida man.
Maybe the Ayatollah or something. I don't know.
He's becoming the epitome of a Florida man.
Yasser Arafat.
His hair's too short and black.
Well, I'm not going to be making fun of how hairy he is because I'm pretty much just as hairy and balding in the same spots, at least when it comes to the elongated forehead. But,
so I have a question. I've seen some footage of this thing that they did, I guess, in Times Square where they've got the Enterprise D. It's like a holographic billboard.
Mm-hmm.
Of it coasting into a docking position inside a space dock, and I've never seen a billboard like that, and I know that they've had them in Japan, and they kind of wrap around the corner of a thing of a building, and I'm curious. I would like to see one of those in person so I can see how well that holography or whatever it's called actually how it works, how it looks.
Hey, Mike, can you share my screen?
let's see.
This is what Darren's talking about.
Can you enlarge the video?
Yes, it's sweetie. Oh my God. Nice.
D is the fat one. There you go. Full screen, okay.
Yeah, I think it only works from that angle though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, there was one in.
I knew it was going to be the
Japan.
D because the out shape, because the outline.
Right. Yeah, but there was a billboard in Japan that was somewhat like that, where it's shaped the same way, where it was, I think, a woman petting a cat or something.
It's the lion. The lion basically breaks out of the cage. The glass, the lion breaks out of the cage. That's one of the most famous ones in Japan.
Yeah, it would make sense that it only works from one angle, but I mean, at least it's still neat from that angle.
The only problem I have is it looks like the model they used for the D is off.
Well, as long as you can tell what it's supposed to be, it's
It's the fat one, okay? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, the D was never my favorite, but now it's not my least favorite anymore, thanks to the F.
Hey, the F the J looked cool. Sorry, the F looked cool from underneath.
The J
I kind of like the F only because I like the Odyssey class in Star Trek Online.
Yeah, to me it just borrows too much from Voyager. Anytime they try to make the Enterprise look, that's one of the reasons I had a problem with the E. I thought it looked too much like Voyager, and then this F looks too much like Voyager too. They even borrowed.
I didn't like the E as much.
Which one? The three nacelles or the retrofit?
The E, the one.
Oh, I was thinking of the F. Sorry.
The one that was in 3 movies. Yeah, and, and then when the F comes out of space dock, they give it that banking thing, kind of like the opening shot of Voyager. In the opening credits, where you kind of see that underbelly look. It's probably the Voyager, in my opinion, looks best from that angle, and I guess that's probably the F angle too. But yeah,
I'm not a huge fan of having extra large nacelles on everything, but even me, I always thought Voyager's nacelles looked too small for it.
They're a little too small, right? Yeah, it's. I know they were supposed to be more efficient and stuff, but yeah, it's.
I don't mind the fact that they moved. I thought that was fine. But to me, it was. You see that part in like Deadpool where Deadpool's walking around with baby feet, but the rest of him is still man-sized. That's Voyager, in my opinion.
That must be the sequel.
Yeah, when he blows himself in half.
Okay. Yeah. The variable geometry warp nacelles, which only ever were in 2 positions, all the way up or all the way down, were there because the network UPN wanted some part of the ship to regularly articulate, even though no Star Trek ship had ever really had any articulation. So that's what they came up with, and to this day, I think Voyager is the only ship that has articulation at all. Except you could probably, you might be able to say that the Prometheus does, but it really doesn't. It just kind of.
Whoa! Why'd you say the P word, dude?
Well, if you count the fact that the saucer nacelles pop up and down for the vertical and ventral ones.
True.
But even that's kind of attached to the gimmick of the multi-vector assault mode.
Right. Yeah, I prefer the Prometheus when it's all together in one piece.
It definitely looks better. Yeah. But going back to Star Trek Online, my primary ship was the Prometheus class.
Yeah.
And I used it as basically a giant glass cannon. Mm-hmm. So I would go in and I would do immense damage and then split apart to basically make myself as many targets as possible to get away. So at least if one of them got away, technically I survive.
My problem with that whole concept is the gimmick. And what if one ship gets severely damaged and it can't rejoin or something? And then you have this problem. Can the other 2 join without the third part? Or there's a lot of unanswered questions there. Because ships take damage in battles. So.
Well, I originally in Star Trek Online, if even 2 of the you took control of one of the parts, the other 2 were controlled by the computer, and as long as the part that you controlled escaped, even if the other 2 parts were destroyed, you would like magically get the rest of it back at the end of the mission.
Oh,
it was kind of funny.
Okay, well, I really don't care about Star Trek Online. It's not.
So, but that was one of the reasons I used it back then.
When I played Star Trek Online for about 2 weeks, and my only ship was the Pioneer, which I actually kind of liked. But it's an old TOS era ship.
Yeah, out of their TOS era ships that they made for the game, the Pioneer is definitely my favorite. It's the only one that looks like it actually belongs in the TOS era.
Right, it's just but
because everything else it's just I don't know. A modern ship made to look like a TOS ship.
Right. Yeah, they took the configuration and just TOS'd it. Put a TOS cone paint on it.
Yeah. But no, because of when I signed up for Star Trek Online, ironically, I was one of the first 100 people to sign up for it once it went free. So I got the NX class for free.
Right.
And I thought it was weird how the NX class is slightly better than the ship that they start you out with.
Yeah, this is the Pioneer class for anybody who didn't know what it looks like. It's I like that it has an aft communication antenna, an antenna on the front and a sensor, sensor system on the back.
Yeah.
And I get the impression though that this ship's saucer is probably smaller than the Enterprises, because otherwise it would have more.
Just
it would have
windows,
more.
you can tell.
Yeah, if it wasn't, it would have more mass than the Enterprise does. So I thought this was a cool enough looking ship. It had it did have a more modern torpedo placement here at the bridge of this neck, but and the shuttle bay and all that. But
I'll be back. I gotta do another job.
Yeah. I thought it was a pretty decent looking ship, and I like it.
All the other ones just there's one that has like double nacelles on the top, and one nacelle stacked right on top of the other, and I was like, that looks stupid.
Yeah, you want to obey. I mean, I like it when they obey the Roddenberry rules for nacelle placement and such. And in the TOS era, we got so few ships. I mean, anytime there was another Federation ship, it was always another Connie, and so having one that definitely looks like it's from that era and from that fleet, but obviously not being the Enterprise or Connie, is always fun, especially when they really pay attention to the Roddenberry rules.
Well, even today, there's not that many canon TOS era designs.
Really, there isn't, right?
I mean, if you go with the TOS relaunch, or not relaunch, remastered, we get a whopping one additional ship, really, and that's the Antares cargo ship variant thing that they used a couple of times, and I think that's it, really.
I don't doubt it.
But and that was still a ship that was present, they just didn't show it. So now we got two ships, and then if you go with the original tech manual, you got the Freedom class, the Saladin class, not the Freedom class, I'm sorry, that was the one nacelle Galaxy knockoff.
I really don't like one and three nacelled ships at all. I prefer an even number.
I pretty much agree with you, Darren. The only one that I've ever liked was ironically the Kelvin. I thought that design balanced it out because the deflector dish area was below and the nacelle on top, or vice versa, whatever.
The only JJ universe ship I liked was the Franklin.
That one too. I like that one too.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I also liked the Ilios in Picard season 3.
Well, I haven't seen Picard season 3 yet, so I can't say anything.
Okay, we won't say anything.
I'm waiting till it's all out so I can binge it all at once.
Yeah, you'll be watching a 9-hour movie with breaks.
That's fine in my opinion. I've done the Lord of the Rings trilogy multiple times. I can watch 9 hours of movies at once.
The 4-hour versions of the movies, or the 2.5-hour versions of the movies?
Well, when I was watching on DVD, I only had I had the 4-hour versions of Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers, and I only had the regular edition of Return of the King. So it ended up being about 12 hours total.
Gotcha. There was another. I think it came from FASA, another TOS era ship that I actually thought was pretty neat. It was called the Lochnar, or the Lochnar class rather. And I do have another image here. And
there was. Hold on.
Yeah, and this one is very abridged. You get the idea that this thing was only designed to operate within Federation space, because it was basically a Connie without the engineering section. In a way, reminds me a lot of the NX-01. It's
Hold on. Oh, you're trying to share something too.
There it is. That's this is a render of an example of the Lochnar class. Named after, of course,
No, one that I kind of
It's a
liked when I first
Constitution
saw
without
it.
the base, right?
Right. Yeah. It's.
One of the
And
ones
I
I
don't. I
kind of
think.
liked when I first saw it, but as I grew, I started to hate it more and more. Was this ship from the Star Trek role-playing game, which is basically Star Trek's version of D&D.
Ooh.
What the hell is that?
Yeah.
That's a bad one.
It's called the Ranger class, and it was supposed to be a basically the Reliant before, or the TOS era version of the Reliant.
Oh, put that dish on the belly, man. No, not on top.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that it doesn't matter. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, when I first saw it, I thought it looked awesome. But
yeah.
as I matured, I was like, that looks like a freaking potato.
Yeah, I understand that in space it doesn't matter if you've got the secondary hull above or beneath, but it's this just looks like they took a Connie and mashed it up and just rearranged the parts and having the nacelles come out of the saucer instead of where presumably the warp core and all that stuff.
Well, and if you look at there's no bottom view, but when someone rendered it, based on the fact that the saucer section overhangs the struts on the nacelles, they intuited that it basically connects to like the middle of the saucer. So it actually comes out from the middle of the saucer out.
Wow.
Based on the angle. Yeah. And then this is not a great image, but I'm going to show this one. This is Star Trek Online's version of the Ranger class. And to me, that just looks like another Connie.
Yeah, that's just a squish. And yeah, it's a squished Connie. But yeah, reminds me of the Bonaventure from the animated series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because we keep talking about cool designs and non-cool designs. There's only so many different ways you can configure a saucer and a couple of cylinders to make it look cool, and I think we've gotten most of the cool designs and configurations already, and everything else is just a variation. That's why that's right, you haven't seen Picard 3. Okay, well, I'm going to stop right there then because I'm going to not complete that thought.
Yeah. And then I did see somebody a few years back made what looked like a Federation version of the Bird of Prey.
Really?
The Romulan era Bird of Prey, and it's just some of them look kind of weird. I'll see if I can bring one of them up.
Yeah,
let's see. I don't know how good this picture is, but I mean, to me, it looks like a Miranda class spread eagled.
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, it does look like that.
I hate those nacelles.
Now that's ship porn.
I don't mind the nacelles. It's the pylons connecting it to the hull that I don't.
The little arch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like you ever see strawberry runners, like strawberry plants, how they shoot runners across your garden? Anybody do any gardening? Never mind.
I raised strawberry plants in my teens.
Okay, so then how they propagate themselves. They shoot runners out and they lay down roots, and it just reminded me of that. That dandelion fluff knows what I'm talking about. But,
yeah, I grew them in individual potted units, but they would always try to shoot their little things out through the bottom where the excess water could drain out.
Yep.
And at the time, I was the reason I was growing the strawberries was to hide the fact from my parents that I was growing weed at the same time. And they kept trying to grow into the weed plants.
Yeah.
And the funny thing
Yeah.
is, I wasn't even growing the weed to smoke. I was growing it because I was selling the plants. And so, I remember one time I was trying to sell one, and the guy goes, "Why is there a strawberry sticking out the side of this thing?" It was a little tiny strawberry plant growing out the side that had one berry on it.
Yeah. There is another ship from that
Berry
era that I
Bush.
don't like. It's called the Decatur class, and it's basically the Connie, but with the nacelles coming out from the bottom of the engineering hall. If you just do a Google search of Decatur class, Decatur, it's I don't like it. I don't like having the nacelles beneath the saucer, but for that ship anyway. But I think it looks terrible. But somebody else might know.
There was one that I'll see if I can find from one of the books.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, indeed. Strawberry fields forever.
let's see if I can bring it up. This one. This is the only ever view you'll get from this ship because it was from one of the books. It was on the cover.
I like that.
And basically the story is it was essentially a Constitution refit class that had been so damaged that they took the nacelles and neck section from another ship and just reattached everything together to make a working vessel. So it was a literal kit bash in universe.
Yeah. Yeah, I happen. My favorite ships are probably the ones that in terms of Starfleet ships, are the ones that obviously could not fly through atmosphere, because the original premise with these ships were that they were constructed in space and meant to operate in space. And it wasn't until Voyager that we got our first Federation starship that could regularly fly through atmosphere, and then all of a sudden the JJ prize could do it too. And I mean,
well, technically, the Defiant was designed to also land on planet. They just never did. The only time they
just never did it.
Hit atmosphere, they crashed.
Yeah, I mean, obviously runabouts could land as well, and they're starships too. So I'm talking about like the bigger ones,
Yeah.
We give a pass to the Defiant because it's a Defiant, but
well, the Defiant's only 4 decks, 5 with if you count the one line for Worf. But
yeah, it's not big at all. And so that makes sense, but and Voyager, I suppose to an extent, it's fine. But one of the things I thought was really puzzling was how Voyager could fly through atmosphere and land on a planet, but the Equinox, which was a planetary research vessel that was smaller and had a much better center of gravity for landing, apparently could not land on a planet, and that made no sense to me. It's like why would a planetary research ship not be able to do that when Voyager can? But it's just one of those things.
Because of the writers.
I'm going to check real quick. I think because the Defiant class has landing gear on the MSD. Voyager has landing gear on the MSD. I think the Equinox also has landing gear on the MSD.
Okay.
So technically it can. It just never did.
Yeah. It would make sense. It would make sense to me if it would, because I kind of like the Nova as a sporty little thing. It's and one of the things that I've noticed also is that I don't think that's a good image, but if you look at the little red sections underneath the deflector dish and underneath well, that's landing gear, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a canonic? Is that a
the P word? The Prometheus class also has landing gear on it.
Well, I mean, are these canonical LCARS schematics, or
yes.
are they?
These are the ones that you were used in the show.
Okay, interesting. Well, I mean, okay, they were used in the show. I mean, there was a giant rubber duck on one deck of the Enterprise D too, according to the LCARS displays. But there's things that they put in there as jokes and.
Well, I consider the giant rubber duck to be actually some sort of computer component that just happens to look like a giant rubber duck.
Darren, did you notice the joke in the episode of Vox on the bridge?
We're not talking about Picard because Violet hasn't seen it.
Yeah,
yet.
I haven't seen anything.
It's
Don't
not.
spoil anything.
It's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. Okay. It's just that the Riker makes sure that the head is still there. He walks directly toward it.
Thank you, Elihu, for that.
You don't even know what I'm talking about, dude.
The toilet.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay.
Yeah, but you don't know what I'm referencing in the episode. Darren does if you've seen it. He walked directly toward the head.
But I know what the head is.
I know, but you don't know what I'm referencing. Exactly. Darren
I'm
does.
not saying a word, Elihu.
I know, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Yes or no?
I'm not saying a word, Elihu.
Okay.
Look, I know this is not a popular opinion among many circles here, but I think that Picard 3 stands out from the rest of what Secret Hideout has produced. And I said for years now that I didn't think it was in Secret Hideout's DNA to be able to make an authentic continuation to the Berman era, and what they ended up having to do in order to do it was get some fresh DNA. They got the Terry Metalis guy who. I'm not saying he's the best thing since sliced bread or anything, but at least you can tell that he has a reverence for the material of TNG and of the Berman era, since he worked during that era in Star Trek, and bringing back guys like Doug Drexler and the Okudas and stuff for redesigning of ships and interiors and just having a firmer grasp of these characters from TNG. This feels like the first piece of Star Trek we've had in decades. But I don't want to oversell it, because there are a lot of people that have problems with some of the details here and there.
Yeah, I've already had a couple of things spoiled for me. That one of the things that pissed me off, because I think it was last week when I was posting to this stream notification on Twitter, was the first thing up there was someone commenting about Doug Drexler's NX refit is now canon, and showing an image of it. And I was like, great. I would rather have liked to see that during the episode and being surprised. I realize it's a small thing and it doesn't spoil the story, but that type of thing I would like to have seen during the episode without the spoiler.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to spoil this for anybody, but especially people who I know who are interested in it. My brother, I spoiled the whole thing for him because I know he's not a Star Trek fan, and just trying to know what hubbub was about. But for people who are fans, I'm not going to share anything until after they've seen it. But yeah, the biggest screen possible in the darkest room possible. That's all I recommend for when you watch it. It is a very cinematic looking series.
Well, and a lot of the new stuff is basically cinematic looking, because they get to use the nice fancy new cameras that are back then would have cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah. It's definitely a TV show with cinema quality cinematography and such.
No, Jordan, it's your computer.
Yeah, I don't see any buffering on my end.
I'm not seeing any buffering either. It looks like we're playing a driving video game though.
You guys talking about mine?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like Grand Theft
I love
LDG.
this new camera on here.
You're going 23 miles an hour in a 20-mile-an-hour zone. I saw you. I saw that, man.
Yeah.
But doesn't this look like a video game?
Pretty much. I was going to say it's Grand Theft Florida Man.
Yeah, just now you get LDG gets out of his car and beats up a hooker.
Grand Theft Pickle.
Yeah, Grand Theft Pickle. Yeah.
Now find the iguanas. Okay, find the
$20
iguanas.
super chat, and I will take the next car that drives by me.
Hey, do me a favor. Drive through that fence over there.
I don't, for some reason, I have a hankering to play Grand Theft Auto Vice City, but making the main character incredibly fat and bald.
Shoot. Sunny Florida.
That was not a full stop. He just ran a stop sign. Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay, there he goes.
Yeah, full car length afterwards. Yeah.
It's not
Also,
a California roll,
whew.
It's not a California roll, okay? You're in Florida, man.
all of a sudden he gets pulled over.
Oh, that's a street.
We-
He's on the he's back on the
We
street.
see him. We see him getting arrested, having to bend over the hood of the car with his hands behind his back. It'd be just that would elevate the stream in ways that Mike could never do on his own.
Pretty much, yeah. Especially without Caddy here.
Yeah.
What's really funny about that is, to this day, like the Caddy videos with like some of the TOS reviews are still my most watched.
All right, buddy. Bring the other me up. I'll be right there, please.
All right, I'm dropping you back and I'm bringing the other one up.
Ford found on the road dead.
We'll see when he comes back.
Didn't Florida get like inundated with water here recently?
That was north of Orlando, Fort Lauderdale. They got about 2 feet of rain in an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 feet.
Damn.
Measurable rain, not actual feet, but measurable rain, which is about 3.5, 4 feet. Yeah, it was bad, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you need a motorboat to get to work.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Ellie? You don't work. What are you talking about? Anyway.
They were showing a 3D model rendering of the rainfall, and it looked like the way they had map of Florida out. You see, it's kind of flat, a little bit of edging, but with Fort Lauderdale, you see it spiked like a huge mountain. Like, holy shit, that's a lot of rain.
Well, Richie, you will be happy to know that once I, with the scripts I've been writing, because I do plan on doing the Vile reviews again, that the Vile Child, actually, several of the Vile children will be making guest stars. So they will be back.
Getting back briefly to conjectural fan-made designs, there was one that I just thought was kind of awesome, but also overkill. Basically, they took the TMP Connie and they put the saucer from the Reliant on it instead of the regular saucer from the Enterprise. So you had the saucer with the great big shuttle bays in the back, and the mega phaser cannon and torpedo pod on the top. So it had not only the regular neck-mounted tubes, but also the big pod on top. And I got a picture here, real brief. No, that's not a very good picture. Never mind, you can find it yourself. But it's as ridiculous as it sounds for its era. You know?
Yeah, it looks like Anzo and Denny and Chris and I are going to be doing the ranking at 12 noon Pacific time, then the wrap-up around 3 o'clock.
Well, I will be missing it because, as I said, as soon as the stream's over, I'm heading down to Mexico to see Mrs. Vile, and then we're going to go see Dungeons and Dragons because she wants to go see it.
That was good.
And then I'm driving back across the border.
Dungeons and Dragons was well done.
Was?
Yeah,
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, if you were a dungeon master, you would appreciate this movie entirely. If you were ever a dungeon master, and I was. I'm like, I love.
Didn't they get rid of the half races?
They still have half things, dude. Come on.
Yeah, that's Wizards of the Coast that are doing that.
Yeah, but
Wizards of the Coast.
This was well done. You can see Christmas Pine characters like, okay, that was a bad roll, and it explains it. I'm like, this is perfect.
Well, Elihu, I'm also the dungeon master on occasion for the Vile Child and her friends. So
you'll appreciate this.
I'm just interested in a Tolkien derivative fantasy film. I like those. So.
In fact, hold on a second.
I never played D&D. I just watched the cartoon show when I was a kid.
The Vile Child doesn't know this yet, so if she's watching, it'll be a spoiled surprise, but she rarely watches the streams. I picked this up last week.
Spellhammer!
I thought it said Spelljammer.
Yeah, it's basically D&D's version of Star Trek because it's all in space. And the thing is, I got it for an insanely cheap price at one of my Walmarts because the normal price for it was like $80, and then it had been pulled from the shelves because for some reason I can't remember what. I think someone complained about it or something. So they were now in the back room, and since they were in the back room and they couldn't, they were waiting to ship them back. I asked, is it okay if I buy it? And they were like, sure, go ahead. They went ahead and just marked it down to like $30 for me. And I was like, if you're going to do that for that, can I buy all of them for $30 a piece? Like, no, you can buy one. So I'm going to try to do a campaign with that with the Vile kids. I want to convince my 13-year-old to try to play, but she doesn't seem interested. But the 12-year-old and the 19-year-old, we might be able to do something with.
I like how you talk to your children like they're ingredients to a pie. I can't work with the turmeric, but I might be able to do something with some salt.
Well, I'm trying not to use their names all the time because, they don't always like it.
That's why he calls it Wild Child.
I put the link to my video in the chat, but because I'm not a wrench, it didn't linkify. But
put it in a private chat.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Is that your new video?
Mine's only under 8 minutes long, under like Indie Tiger, so it's not as much of a commitment. and yeah, it's I uploaded it yesterday. So.
There you go. I'm nice and I posted it for you. Okay.
Oh, that was
All
a
right.
nice thing for you to do.
You guys talk for a second. I gotta load it.
I don't know why you're not a wrench.
Well, then.
Well, I understand why he wouldn't give me a wrench. There's been some discussions we've had, on the Vilemike stream where Mike was a little more spirited than usual, and it's kind of like everything was catching fire, and so I mean, I don't have a problem with not being a wrench. As long as there's somebody with a wrench that
can help you out.
I don't see the wrench as being anything other than more responsibility. Other people look at it.
You responsible? Oh, I expected. That's why. Okay. Yeah.
It's people look at it like it's some kind of badge of honor.
It's not a badge.
Yeah, I know. I'm special. I have a wrench. I have a blue check mark. I have, a scratch and sniff sticker of Mr. T, or something. It's just like,
I rarely will meet somebody or anything. The only reason why I'm glad I have a blue wrench is, okay, I can post the link in here if you guys want. I'm cool with that. That's no problem. I'm not a moderator unless you ask me to be. Half the time, if I have a blue check mark and I see somebody like a point spam, I'll say it. Hey, guys, this is a bot in the chat, or I'm not going to take care of it right away. See how other people do that. I'm lazy. I'm too lazy to make a wedding congratulations video for Alicia and Jeff. I had to have my friend do it.
Well, I'm back, Dandelion. And yes, I heard you, Darren. And no, that's not the reason, but it's mostly.
Well, that's what I assumed the reason was. Yeah, I mean, you've got enough wrenches from what I can tell, so I'm not anxious to get it.
I think almost everybody here has a wrench at one point or another.
I love the. It's not the reason, but you just admitted there's the reason.
I mean, like, going back, Melissa doesn't have a wrench, and she's literally, I've known her longer than I've known everyone else on this stream. Literally, her youngest daughter, or her oldest daughter, and my oldest daughter, Caddy, used to play together at the park back when they were like toddlers. So I've known her for like 15 years. So,
all right. Now it's a proper CNA stream.
Why was I having issues?
You have alcohol?
No, me. Yeah, I just got my triple threat.
The joke is that the Vilemike stream always has technical difficulties.
What was it that Cinnabon was drinking the other night? Was it sake?
Sake.
I don't even know. I don't even know where I could get sake around here. He's in Minnesota.
Go to Safeway or Plex, whatever that store is.
Yeah, we don't have any of those awful places here.
Oh,
so,
okay.
There, here in San Diego, there's this Japanese import shop that used to just do like anime stuff, but within the last couple of months, they applied for a license, and they're actually now selling Japanese sake. The problem
we don't have Japanese import places here. We have Michigan import places. Okay?
Oh, okay. Talk about him. Look who shows up. Look at that. Somebody
But-
just showed up.
They have got like 3 versions of sake that are all like really good brands in Japan, which means that each of the bottles are like $300 a piece here in the States because of the added cost of importing them. And it's just not worth it to me to get a $300 bottle of sake to try it.
Cinnabon, the link is pinned if you want to come up here and chat with us. Since Darren actually called you out.
Called out.
Yeah, you take what you talked about, and all of a sudden he just showed up. Look at that. He was quiet. I don't know if he was quiet in the chat, but boom, here comes the Bunny Man.
We can buy it at any regular liquor store here in Canada. That might be Canada. I don't know of any liquor store in my area. Then again, I also haven't looked for it or asked for it. If they got any sake. That might be something I'll do next time is see if there's 2 liquor stores that I tend to go to get my shots for the CNA stream. Maybe they'll have some and I'll try it next time. See if there's any sake that is good in coffee.
There's
The
one
only
that's
thing I
2
know
blocks
about
up from my house.
Sorry. Yeah. The only thing I know about sake is I guess you're supposed to drink it warm or hot or something.
Warm sake out of a wood bamboo cup or
You can have it cold. There's
Yeah.
cold sake. There's sparkling
warm-
sake. There's hot
warm
sake.
sake is better. Man.
There's sake in a cup. There's scrambled sake. There's
Okay, so it's not like blood wine where you got to drink it warm. It's
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh God! Apparently,
I
when
would
you
say it's
mix
better hot though.
sake and coffee, it's called a saucepresso.
Wake up and get drunk. Boom, all at once. Yeah.
That's what the Irish do.
Well, I mean, I guess that sounds better than sucky water, sucky coffee.
Hey,
Back when I was in the Navy, when we stopped in Perth, Australia, there was this alcohol that everybody was drinking there that was in the process of getting banned. It was called Elevate. It was basically like Four Loko. It had caffeine and a lot of alcohol in it. So
Sake
Australian-
coffee. That's a great name.
Australians were killing themselves because the normal things that would cause you to slow down and fall asleep when you get drunk were being negated by the caffeine content.
I forgot
Dying.
that caffeinated beer that was sold here for a bit. There was a
Yeah.
caffeinated beer in America. I forgot what it was called.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, from what I'm reading, the most Japanese people seem to think that putting sake in coffee is not very good, and they say that if you're going to put a Japanese alcoholic beverage into coffee, they say it should be shochu, which is a distilled alcohol, not a fermented alcohol like sake is. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll see about getting shochu.
In Japan, I found this out. In Japan, they have McDonald's like we do, but they serve the food a little bit differently. Like one of the everybody's favorite desserts over there is you get the French fries and they drizzle chocolate syrup on it because the sweet and the salt, is that flavor is real popular over there. So it sounds just kind of disgusting over here until you remember that you don't really taste potato when you eat the
This is
fries.
called.
You just,
Sorry.
yeah, it's okay. I was done. Go ahead.
I know what Four Loko is.
Yeah, it was banned
Yeah.
2010. Yeah, this is the alcoholic, caffeinated alcoholic beer that was sold in America. Banned in 2010, finally.
No, this was in the late '90s, and the stuff was called Elevate. And I think it was only bottled in Australia, but yeah, it's there's some stuff that I got to drink in Australia that I like that I can't seem to find here, no matter where I go. So, there was this ginger beer they had there called Dark and Stormy.
Wow. I hate ginger beer.
Oh, there's something about I don't like the taste. I don't like the taste of gingerbread or ginger, but this stuff is actually pretty good. It was nice and smooth. I liked it a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the most disgusting taste in my mouth ever. Of ginger beer.
I don't know. The bottle had a sailing ship at in a stormy sea, and I just thought it was the whole package was great. But apparently it went away like in the late '90s. So I haven't been able to find it even online.
Yeah, there's a lot of those things that can't find anymore. I still want to find my Izmir Stingers. They were cherry flavored cigarettes made by Camel.
Wow.
They were like to go with a nice like highball, they were perfect for it. And I hate artificial cherry flavor, but these things were freaking awesome. But the last time I was able to buy a pack, it cost me like $25 for a single pack, and that was before a lot of these taxes.
Do not buy 1 cup sake. Never heard of 1 cup sake.
It was so weird when we went to Australia. They had beer and mixed drink machines, like we have like soda machines. So they have like a rum and coke machine where like it's a white machine with great big black letters RUM rum, and then in tiny little print and Coca-Cola. And
Coca-Cola.
you get a can of that, and it's like it was fairly strong. It was like something you might get at a bar. Then you look at the can, it's like, oh, the Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Australia makes this. Yeah. Fun stuff. They had the other beer called Swan that was everywhere, and the Australians didn't drink that. They said it was piss. Carlton Draft, they drank a lot of that, and 4X, which I don't know if that's related to Dos Equis, but
no, it's not.
It's not. Okay, and yeah, so that was just so fun. We could get drunk before 9 a.m. It was awesome. We just go down to the lobby of our barracks room and spend like $4 or $5 and get plowed.
Red Stripe was considered exotic.
African beer.
Wait, I thought Red Stripe was Caribbean.
I thought it was originally African. See the Google Mobile?
Yeah, it was developed in according to Google, Red Stripe is an award-winning beer that embodies the lively spirit of Jamaica, a pale amber lager that showcases the island vibes of the Caribbean. While the beer recipe was originally developed in the United States, it is synonymous with Jamaican culture.
Okay.
So it's a U.S. beer, but it's popular. It's supposed to be like Jamaican inspired.
Like Corona, it's an American beer but Mexican inspired. Gotcha.
I thought Corona was even brewed in Mexico.
No, Tecate is the beer that's brewed in Mexico. Corona is American. Tecate is Mexican. Get it right. When was the last time you got a Corona in Mexico, in Tijuana? You ain't gonna find one. They're drinking Tecate down there. Corona is the American version of Mexican beer.
Well, lo and behold, I found that stuff.
All right. Corona is a brand of beer produced by Mexican brewery Cerveceria. I'm butchering that name, Modelo, and owned by a Belgian company. So it is brewed in Mexico. It's just owned by a Belgian company. But shut up, Elihu.
My name's not
You're wrong
Wesley.
twice in a row.
My name's not Wesley.
So you're like, it's an American beer. No, it's a Belgian beer made in Mexico. Sorry, I just find that funny. Oh, and Mrs. Vile's here right now. So everyone say hi to Mrs. Vile.
Hi, Mrs. Vile.
Hola, Mrs. Cardenas.
And she can easily tell me how I mispronounced cerveceria or whatever it was.
Cerveza. Cerveza?
Cerveceria. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
Check. There we go. I was muted. Hello.
And what's funny is Corona is one of my favorite beers, Yvette.
I can't stand Corona.
Corona is my go-to beer for football games.
The only beer I drink is New Glarus Spotted Cow. It's something you can only get in Wisconsin. So.
Yes, I was trying to say brewery in Spanish.
Only Darren would drink something that sounds like it comes from an endangered species.
I like distillery.
I like my baby seal cocktail too.
Yeah.
My spotted owl. That's what you. Oh, like that's where you made the correlation. Spotted cow, spotted oil. Okay, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you now.
On the next Darren Wagner live stream, he drinks rhinoceros horn lager.
What's another great endangered species?
Made at the Dodo Distillery.
Yeah, the Dodo Distillery. There you
go. Tasmanian Tiger Pale Ale.
The Tricer. Well, Tasmanian Tiger's already gone.
Actually,
not exactly endangered.
Yeah, actually, the Liocene is still active. People have been spotted it. Hasn't been spotted the Liocene.
You're right, but I mean, officially, the thing I've always thought is that what people call the chupacabra is probably a displaced thylacine, because there were conservation groups that actually captured a bunch of them and deposited them in Mexico in hopes that they would thrive. And if you saw a chupacabra, which has a very thin, like a Doberman coat, and then the way their tail is almost more like a rat tail.
The snout, yeah.
Yeah, the mouth opens up really high, and they like to exsanguinate their prey. So, because they're used to getting, because they live in arid environments, they don't waste a whole lot, and they drink the blood.
If I ever decide to do the convert a skeptic thing, Darren, you could try to convince me of that, because as far as I'm concerned, it's still just a coyote with mange.
Right, but the thing is that the thylacine had the hind legs were different, and its back could contort and reconfigure so that it looked like a kangaroo, and it could throw itself up on its hind legs and use its tail for balance, just like a kangaroo does. And you'd think you were looking at it's a marsupial, right? Because it's a marsupial. It's actually closely related to the kangaroo, and so people not from that area, if they saw something like that, they would be very confused as to what they're looking at, because they're not used to that. And I think a lot of coyotes with mange have been identified as chupacabra or misidentified, but I think that there's a chance. I only suggest this is a possibility. I don't say that this is matter of factly what everybody's seeing. But I do think that some of those folks may have seen a displaced thylacine.
And I definitely got to give you props for at least knowing the thylacine name, because a lot of people wouldn't even know what you're talking about.
When I used to, people used to call me and get help activating their new phones. In order to test the internet, I would have them do a Google search on Tasmanian tiger, because chances are very good that they didn't ever look it up, so there wouldn't be any stored pages in their phones if they're using Wi-Fi. Because especially with iPhone users, because they always think they set up their phone completely when they just set up the iPhone part of it, right? The account stuff, but they still can't make or receive calls because they didn't activate the phone on the given network. So I would activate it, have them switch it off of Wi-Fi, and then have them do the data test. And I would always have them look up the Tasmanian tiger, and some of them thought that was interesting. Some of them were gross, but that's how I know something about it. I either if they sounded like they were a sports fan, I'd have them look up Fenway Park, and 50-50 chance if they were on the East Coast, they would say, "How about Yankee Stadium?" It's right, that works too. And then I'd have to tell them the only reason I choose Fenway is because it's relatively easy to spell.
I need you to test the system right now. I'm going to give you a code. I need you to throw it into your search engine. 2G1C.
Are you talking to me?
Don't do it.
No, I'm just coming up with a funny thing. 2G1C code. Try looking that up. What do you get?
The definition
Nobody?
of fun, man. Named,
I'm not doing it. Are anybody else doing it?
Yeah.
I don't trust this.
I'm too stoned, man. I'm too stoned to do anything right now.
Nobody knows 2G1C. Really?
If you're referring to what I think you're referring to, I ain't looking it up.
Yeah, exactly. But that's how you trick somebody. Like, yeah, the special code is to. Here, I got the code for you. 2G1C. Yeah, just search that real quick.
It's kind of like going into YouTube and typing just a period into the search engine and hitting search, and all the nasty, fucked up shit you see.
Yeah.
You know, with just that period as the search engine.
Dandelion knows. Bird knows. There we go. Okay.
If I'm going to search anything that you suggest to me, I'm turning safe search on.
That's fine because this one goes through that.
Oh, if I do that, I'm driving over to Tim Christ's house and doing it on his computer.
I told him I'm afraid. Oh, Lord.
What am I gonna eat?
Oh, no, I would never give those to actual real customers. Yeah, no. Think I know what he's talking about, but no.
I had one customer one time.
It's an acronym.
I had one customer of mine want to speak to my supervisor because for her data test, I had her look up Miller Park. Miller Park is where the Brewers play in Milwaukee, or it used to be. Now it's called something else, American Family Field or something. But she didn't like the fact that I was having her look up a park that was named after a beer, you know, and so she wanted to speak to my supervisor, and my supervisor had to sit through about half an hour of prohibition lecturing and how people shouldn't drink and stuff, and, and she goes and she's like, I don't anticipate this ever happening again, but you might want to consider a different ball diamond. So that's where Fenway Park came from.
Thank you so much, LDG. You're an asshole.
What?
Yeah, I remember when TG1C came out, and
yeah,
I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, and I only watched about 4 or 5 seconds of it, and I had to throw up. I had just eaten, and I was just like, oh. I'm like, did this come from Germany? What the hell? I'm not allowed to hang out with you people anymore.
Yeah, I think I made it about the same amount of time as you, Darren, but I think when it came out, I was, God, I want to say I was still a teenager when it came out.
What came out, the product or the video?
The video.
Yeah. I think I saw it on E-Bombs World or something, one of those sites. And
I don't even know what site I saw it on because someone was like, look it up, and I looked it up, and I was like, oh my God.
Why?
Because people would always say, oh, you got to check this out.
Well, I don't.
No, I don't have to check anything out. I have to check out completely.
I mean, the video isn't actually bad.
It's edited.
Like, it's not what you. It's not what you think it is, but
doesn't matter.
It's enough. So it's kind of like when they have like these things where they'll have like an actress that everybody thinks is hot doing a dance from a movie, but then they'll also flash like scenes from a porno in there that trick your brain into thinking that associating those porn images with the actress, like the one from Harry Potter that everybody likes apparently. You know what I'm talking about? You ever see those videos?
Yeah, but
oh yeah, Mrs. Umbridge, Penny, yeah, the Umbridge lady. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Well, no, I mean just the
Emma Watson is, I think, he's one of
I know. Joke.
Yeah, some footage from a movie where she's dancing in a nightclub and they throw in stripper stuff, fully nude stripper stuff, and your brain makes the correlation, and yeah, it's stupid stuff.
No, I try to avoid a lot of that kind of stuff because for some reason people seem to like doing it with prepubescent girls, and it's disgusting to me.
Yeah, it's pretty Oh, Weird Al used to do it. Weird Al used to have a footage of him petting a little hamster. It's a real hamster, and then they cut to him taking a stuffed animal hamster and chucking it as hard as he can against the wall. You know?
And how you doing, Dandelion?
Good morning. I'm all right. I hate this
Thank
time.
you for changing the demographics of the panel. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Adding some congeniality to the ambiance.
Yes, we don't have any redheads here. Thank you for showing up.
Yeah, I'm not going on camera though. The one thing, I don't have any lights on in here. There's just like a giant window behind me, so.
Hey, I didn't film my hair.
Considering more than half the panel is still, fat guys with facial hair.
As opposed to like fat women with facial hair.
Who are you calling fat? I got some facial hair, okay?
Yeah. I mean, we all know what Dandelion Fluff looks like.
Yeah, you can just imagine.
We're all familiar with your appearance.
My appearance when I'm like cleaned up, as opposed to right now where I look scruffy and backlit. So how is everyone this fine day?
Oh,
I'm doing okay.
I'm enjoying the cold.
Oh, that sucks.
I wanted to go out the Mirror Woods this weekend, but it was too cold.
Yeah, it's kind of chilly here too, and it's raining too. Well, it's not raining, but it's like drizzling steadily.
It's windy as fuck. My fitted hat almost flew off.
It's interesting. Even here right now, it's not really raining at all. It's like very, very, very lightly misting.
Yes, the West Coast misting. Gotcha.
But just enough that I can see it on my windshield right now, but it's also evaporating fast enough that it's not building up.
Well, that's nice then. Don't even need to waste your wiper blades.
I was going to go to Yosemite Tuesday, but I'm not sure what the weather's going to be like.
Yeah. I think, well, I don't know. Our weather's supposed to be slightly nicer this week. It's just raining for the weekend, I think. But, just because I'm from Canada, we don't have... No, I'm not turning on my camera. You can just pretend I'm an AI. I don't care.
Whether you're an AI or not, you still change the demographics of the panel, so
Right?
I don't care.
Like 4 guys and an AI. That works too.
Hey, at least you didn't ask us to check this box and click a CAPTCHA.
Right. Yeah. Which one has traffic lights in it? And there's like that teensy corner of a traffic light. And you're like, do I pick that one as well?
I got a fun fact for you about that. That's actually helpful whenever you do a CAPTCHA with traffic lights, bicycles, cars.
Okay.
That actually helps Google algorithms for their self-driving cars, so the automatic computers actually identify, okay, this is what a traffic light looks like. This is what a bus looks like. This is what a crosswalk looks like. It helps the automatic self-driving cars.
Well, no, it helps.
Well,
it helps all AI
so
they're using it.
It helps with it. It helps identify objects.
But another thing that you should get. Yeah, another thing that you should get paid for doing, but you're working for free under the guise of the illusion of security. Dude, this is millions of dollars. Like just one little thing, millions of dollars. One thing.
He jumps from that to socialism in a heartbeat.
Well,
because it is. That's the world
Darren,
you live in. You
I'm
literally
a socialist, but when the way LDG talks about it, he's like, he goes further than I do sometimes. I mean, a lot of the time.
Sometimes.
Some things should be socialized.
I agree. Some things should be socialized, but
medicine.
LDG's like to the point where
making roads. We all use them.
Bernie Sanders would say to LDG, "Calm down, dude."
Oh, I'm calm. I mean, not calm would be me in the 6 o'clock news going all crazy. The world's going to end conspiracy. Yeah, nuts. Exactly. I am calm.
What grinds
I'm
my
just
ears?
gonna slap you in the face every single time you say a comment that doesn't realize
channel.
that you're being used.
A YouTube channel with a couple of young Florida lads. They're down in somewhere in South Florida. I don't know exactly where. They don't say, but they go out regularly catching aquarium fish out of like ditches and creeks and weird places because apparently they're everywhere there. But they're pretty funny. The one kid like squeals like a girl constantly whenever he finds something exciting. It's
I had a dream the other night. I was looking at like a Drudge Report, and I see footage somebody takes of LDG walking down the street with a shotgun, going, "I'm not what Daddy wanted." Boom! I'm not what Daddy wanted. Boom! So yeah, waiting for that.
Yeah, don't let's let that topic drop, Indy.
Well, not only that, but the hopefully the reward you get for doing it is that bots aren't buying up all the concert tickets or whatever it is you have to like click the boxes for.
No, to me, like whenever I see something like that, it's usually because they're offering a free service that I want, and that's the payment to do it. To me, that's worth it. That's me getting paid. I now get to watch, a TV episode or, get a coupon code for something. That's my payment for it. But
yeah, okay. So that's the kind of idiot that would go to 2 video stores. One says free, the other one says $1 million, and you walk into the one with $1 million.
If you're getting something like a coupon,
you're supposed to get that for free. There is no cost. That's the meaning of free.
Okay, LDG, have you ever done like a taste test at a company is doing?
Something like that. Why?
A blind taste test.
One of the malls I used to go to had an area where they'd always have a guy out front, and he'd always hire, try to get people to do a taste test. So you'd fill out some paperwork, you'd go into the back room, and you'd randomly taste something, and you give them your opinion. And you either got paid like $5 to $20 for doing so, and it was usually like 5 minutes of work, or they'd give you a case of product.
Yeah, service at the mall.
Take the case of product.
Yeah, but you're accepting to that's
your compensation.
That is not the same.
It's compensation.
That is exactly the same.
No, exactly is a strong word.
It's compensation, dude.
Come on, Darren. Words mean things. That's the wrong word or the use of exactly the same thing. It is not.
I stepped away to make cook a steak.
You're being compensated for your time, LDG. It's the exact same thing. It may not be financial. But
no, but it isn't though. It's not like you came in to do the click on a bike or click on a freaking hill or a mountain or a person or whatever. You did that. You didn't sign up for that. Okay, you signed up specifically for the taste test. So don't try to use the taste test as an now what if they gave you additional crap before that? Like, you had to give up your all your information and ask you what your favorite ice cream was and all that crap before you even get to take the test, and maybe that would be something.
Well, hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5. Cuppa.
Thank you, Bird.
Cuppa, Bird. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, I'm going to change the subject.
How recently have you been to the movie theaters? Like all this personal information, man.
Well, me and Mrs. Vile go to the movie theaters down in Mexico all the time because the tickets are like $6.
Yeah, it's cheap ass.
I mean, literally, it's worth it just to go down there to watch a movie now because if you even include the cost of gas driving back and across the border, it's still cheaper than buying a ticket here.
It's $18 to go to the movies.
Elihu, the AMC the Regal Cinemas at one of my that's at one of my Walmarts is at a mall, and the Regal Cinemas is also at the mall. It is $27.50 for a single ticket.
It's ridiculous. Is it an IMAX?
Nope.
I don't even pay that much in Canadian monies.
That's crazy. Are you sure?
Unless it's a matinee, which is after 4 p.m. Every one of the tickets is like that much.
You guys search AMC Metreon.
Ooh, that's exciting.
See how expensive the tickets are. Of course, it is.
What film are you going to see, Crimson Mist?
Yeah, what movie are you going to see?
It is worth paying for the closed caption on a very good premiere, because if you can't hear what's going on the screen because of all the crowd, it's worth the closed caption.
I actually really enjoyed going to movies during COVID because there wasn't really anybody else there because they had reduced capacity and a lot of people just weren't going anyway. And there weren't many movies coming out, but there was a couple that came out. I think I went and saw. It was pretty nice to go and sit in the theater with like 2 other people. Don't mind that.
Put your feet up, kick back, relax.
Yeah, right? Well, I mean, you pre-pick your seats. But...
Indy, technically I'm about 30 miles from the border from my house.
Yeah,
that's so far.
It's about a 45-minute drive.
You have to drive like an hour almost? Oh.
No, a 30 miles is like a 30-minute drive.
Yeah, it's about a 45-minute
No,
drive.
no, I guess your speed limits are different than
It
ours.
would take most people
Well, our
20
speed limit
minutes.
is 65 miles an hour, but I usually go about 70, 75.
Yeah, it's still going to take you more than half an hour.
If
Not
there's
really.
traffic, it'd be 45.
My
Well, my
place
movie
is
theater's like
I got
15 minutes away, and I resent driving
2
that
stoplights
far.
before the freeway.
It takes me 10 minutes to walk to the movie theater.
See, that's more appropriate. I have to like drive 15 or 20 minutes to the theater, and I'm like, ugh, it's evening, I'm tired, I don't want to go to the movies. Forget that.
I got
I
one
don't
movie
do
theater
movies
4
too often.
blocks, another one 4.5 blocks.
The only reason this weekend I plan on
Nice.
taking Mrs. Vile and the Vile kids to the drive-in is because the drive-in you get to see 2 movies and it's still cheaper than going to a regular theater.
I've heard people really want to hate that movie, but actually don't. So that's nice, Crimson Mist.
Yeah, that's the other movie that Mrs. Vile wants to see, and I also want to take my 8-year-old son to see it because he loves Super Mario Brothers.
Very nice. I'm sure it will be a delightful time.
I heard the original Super Mario Brothers movie was a lot better.
No, it wasn't. Bob Hoffman's fault, but no.
Yeah, I've heard like it seems like people want to hate it, but actually don't.
You know, I actually liked it.
There you go. I haven't gone to see it yet. I should probably do that. Maybe I'll drag myself there. Well, you know what? There's no point. I'm going to be working 12 hours a day all week, so there won't be any movies in my near future.
The first one's going to be hard to
Yeah,
top.
Dandelion. This week, because I have jury duty, hence the name of the stream, I'll be working 12-hour days Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday.
And Vile, I have to say, I was also disappointed. Nobody had jury duty stories to share.
Yeah, I thought more people had stories, but I guess no one gets jury duty outside of California.
Got it.
Probably because of all the crime out there.
Well,
I mean, it was murder. It was a murder trial, so there is that.
Well, most of the trials that I've been selected for jury duty for were actually out of state. They were a change of venue. One of them was a Nevada case, and one of them was a Georgia case. That because they applied for out of venue because they thought they'd be biased in their own in their location.
Right.
Should
I think you have to be on a voter roll to be on a jury, and I'm not a Canadian, so I don't get to vote. So not on a voter roll, not on a jury duty roll either.
You're not a Canadian.
No, I'm
You
British.
just live there.
Yes.
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 So you're not going to naturalize yourself?
You know, there's paperwork. I really hate paperwork. I have to do paperwork at work all day, and I still have to go and do like passport paperwork and other paperwork, and I keep
At the end of the day, you end up Canadian. So.
Well, I suppose, but I don't know. I'm like, what, 52 this year? Does it matter? I don't know. My mom was older than this when she got her citizenship, so there's also money involved. I have to pay money.
Does it cost money to get a visa to stay?
No, once you're here, you're here. I mean, if I want to be able to leave and come back, I have to get a landed immigrant card renewed, and that's money. So I haven't done that either, but I probably should because my boss wants me to go on like sales trips to trade shows and stuff with them. So,
well, does that mean you can't even leave to go to the States? Or
yeah, no, I can't right now.
Okay.
I don't even have my passport. Like my passport's expired as well, so I have to get 2 pieces of documentation updated in order to just cross over the border to I don't know, buy milk.
You could cross as a refugee.
Well, why would I want to?
Yeah.
Well, then we'll shove you back over for free.
Yeah. If anything, the refugees are going to be traveling from the States to Canada.
No, actually, we get a lot of a lot of people trying to cross into the States from Canada after they come here, but they don't want to declare refugee status here, so they try and sneak across the border to do it there. It's a whole thing.
I'm just saying Americans going that way.
Oh. Possibly.
I had a friend who I think he lived in like Maine or something like that.
Mhm.
I haven't talked to him in like 15 years, but he used to go to he'd illegally cross into Canada to get pills, and then come back here. He just drive across the border normally, but or walk across the
Well,
border.
before 9/11, of course, you could just cross the border with your driver's license, right? If you were just going over briefly or for a holiday or something, you didn't need a passport to get into the States. That all came in after. Yes, we all. Well, I don't know. I hate paperwork a lot, so I put it off.
I got kicked out of Canada in 1998.
Why did you get kicked out of Canada?
Well, I was exploring the country, hitchhiking, and I didn't know where I was going because I lost my map. So I saw a highway patrol, Western Highway State Patrol officer. I'm like, "Hey, officer, which way is the Canadian border?" He's like, "Oh, go up this road right here. You'll run right into it." I'm like, "Okay." I'm taking a walk. I see nothing. I'm going through some forest area. I see nothing. All of a sudden, I hear, "Hey, you, stop!" Then all of a sudden, 15 Canadian mounties are jumping on me. Like, I just crossed the border illegally. I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah. So there's no like fence. There's no way of knowing unless you look at a road sign that says 0 Ave. Then you can tell that you're on the border. If there's because we here have 0 Ave.
Well, why are you walking through the woods so close
I
to
was
the border?
following the officer's directions to find a Canadian border, right? Because I figured, okay, I was a Canadian
Oh,
border.
he just thought you were asking for the border, not the border crossing.
Yeah.
He needs to go to a border crossing.
Yeah, they gave a piece of paper that says I have to get permission from the Prime Minister to enter the country. Otherwise, it's 10 years expiration. No, that expired years ago, but between 1998 and 2008.
Whereabouts were you that you were crossing? Was it
north of Seattle? North of Seattle.
Oh, Seattle's way far south from Canada. How did you walk from Seattle?
I don't know geography.
Yeah,
Well, it was from Seattle up to the Canadian border.
An hour's drive to Seattle, or more even.
You were searching for Bigfoot. Tell her.
Sasquatch gave me a piggyback ride.
Yeah, except for there's nothing but farmland like along the border here for the most part.
Well, that's the type of trip where like a friend of mine said he took some PCP in Las Vegas and ended up in Albuquerque.
Took a wrong turn.
Essentially, yeah. He doesn't to this day he doesn't know how he got there because he didn't have a car.
Did he take a wrong turn in Albuquerque?
That's the joke. But yeah, he actually ended up in Albuquerque after like being stoned straight for like 3 or 4 days. Has no idea how he got there. He just woke up laying down on the sidewalk in Albuquerque.
I don't think I could be stoned for that long.
No, I could be stoned for that long, but I have consciousness.
Yeah, no, I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, I know my whereabouts.
Anyway, I need to go and check on my second breakfast. I'll be right back.
What, Mike?
He's pretty sure he hitchhiked, but again, he doesn't know for sure. That's the funniest bit.
He had a funny taste in his mouth too.
Hey, whatever it takes, I guess. I don't know.
Sasquatches are your friends. Come on, didn't you ever watch Harry and the Hendersons? Sasquatches are your friends.
Yeah. See, that's another thing that I would do on the Converted Skeptic is have someone try to, do the whole is Bigfoot real? Because again, I'm one of those people like, no.
150 years ago, you would have said, no, there's no such thing as a black and white bear. Please, that's a myth.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Pandas. Pandas were a myth. So were mountain gorillas. A lot of animals out there that people thought were myths.
I'm just going to make a general announcement before I forget.
Are you Star Trek?
For anyone looking for Twilight Zone today, it will be on the Bird of Prey 5X channel.
Oh, did your Nick Picks video explode again?
You also posted your
No,
video.
I just got it out because I had to redo it like 16 times because every time CPS was finding something new. I thought it would take 10 minutes this morning to upload. Ended up taking like 2.5 hours. It only went live about 5 minutes before I came on.
I got your notification.
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to miss it, Bird, because as I've said a couple of times on the stream already, as soon as the stream's over, I'm driving down to Mexico.
No worries.
So, and then, let's see, I've got, I'm working on the 3rd script for the next Vile review. So as soon as I get the new computer, which I finally saved up enough money for the computer, so that will be my next purchase, especially since I didn't end up buying the house.
Hey, Jeff Nerdy again. Yay.
Yeah. So we'll start doing that. I might, if we're going to do Jet Nerdy, I might have other people make some boards for me because
I have one for you.
I know you have one for me, but I'm worried about that one.
I got one for you. Great hotels you can smoke at in Orlando. Eli, who would you like that one?
Yes.
But
Isn't that just one question? It's not really a board.
What's the question?
Oh, and I'm just
saying,
saying,
my brother and I were talking about Thunderbird today, the Native American myth.
there is a park called Peace Park, right on the Canadian-U.S. border, closer to the coast, like by White Rock, on my side of the border, and you can actually go in that park and like meet up with U.S. people without crossing the border. Like you can both like meet up in that park. It's like neutral territory. Because people were doing that during COVID when you couldn't cross the border. People have family on the other side, or they're married to someone on the other side, but they couldn't cross the border, so they would all meet up in that park and stuff.
Oh, so next time I go up to Seattle, basically contact you and say, "Hey, let's hang out at the park for a day."
Sure. Yes.
But I bet there's at least one satellite that's like in geosynchronous orbit above that spot that has a camera pointed straight down at all times.
I have no idea. I don't think it's simple to get, out the wrong side.
Oh, I'm just kind of making a joke, but I'm also not, because I honestly believe that there would be a camera pointed at that location just to make sure.
I assume you have to go through a gate or something to get in there, so.
But
busy.
Reminds me of that library in that one town that is, split up between Canada and the U.S. A lot of people meeting up during COVID at that library.
Right. Yeah. There's a few buildings that cross the border or span the border. But you have to pay taxes on both sides.
Thunderbirds.
Is Dannyland
really
roboting for anyone else, or is that just me?
Nope, that's you.
I think it's just you. I don't know.
No, she's not roboting.
Okay, good to know. I am eating.
Very clear.
I'm having my second breakfast.
As soon as I'm done with this cigar, I'm ending the stream. So.
I'm just enjoying.
I'm already down to my last few drops of coffee. And once I'm done with this cigar, I'm crossing a border myself. And what's funny is you were talking about your passport earlier, Dandelion.
Yep.
I've had my passport my passport application for the U.S. rejected several times because of child support issues. Despite the fact, my latest one was rejected despite the fact that my daughter is now 19 and I'm no longer paying child support for her.
Right.
But
do you owe back support?
No. Okay. This is the funny situation. My oldest daughter's mom committed welfare fraud.
Oh, Darren.
Darren?
Karen's in a feedback loop.
Oh, I'm back. What's up?
It sounded like you farted digitally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
Or like a really noisy motorcycle.
Oh, yeah. I have my window open and I'm on a relatively busy street.
All right, so, and how you doing, Yvette?
Hello, good evening, and welcome everyone. Sorry, that's from a
Yvette.
show in England. Hey, Bud.
But to finish the story, my ex committed welfare fraud, but the government decided that because my daughter benefited from the welfare fraud, I was required to pay back a portion of it.
Oh, that sucks.
So
you know what they say,
when my
don't
daughter
stick your
turned
dick in crazy.
Or sorry. Yeah.
Never heard a woman
Unfortunately,
say
I
that.
was young, dumb, and in high school.
Well, I also do it the other way.
But,
Don't let crazy stick your dick in either.
When my daughter turned 18 and I no longer had to pay child support.
Yep.
When my daughter turned 18 and I no longer had to pay child support, we decided to take a portion of my child support, or which was going to child support, to pay back the back welfare.
Right.
Now they take $125 out of each of my paychecks. But according to California state law, to pay this back, they can't take more than $100.
Right.
So they actually send me a refund every week for the remainder of that money. So they send me a check. So they're supposed to send me a check for $25, except they charge me $1.92 for each of these checks. So I receive a check from the government every week from my own paycheck of $23.08.
That's bonkers.
Because of all these issues, though, the federal government is like, oh, we're not going to give you a passport in case you're trying to get out of paying the child support you don't required to pay.
I thought it was probably more likely that you hadn't finished paying back your portion of the welfare fraud, and they were still trying to squeak that out of you.
That's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing.
Right? So they're still trying to get that back tax. How much is it? Maybe you should just pay them off.
Her total welfare fraud was $32,000.
Okay.
They originally wanted me to pay half of it back, but my attorney had it argued down to $4,000.
Okay.
So, let's see. She's 18, so think of $4,000, $100 a week, however many years that's going to be. Plus, of course, there's also interest. So it's going to be a little bit longer than that. So I can try to bring up the calculator app real quick.
Maybe you should just find out how much it is. That you still owe them.
It's too early for math.
Is that weekly or monthly?
I think he said weekly.
Weekly.
$20, 8 cents a week.
I don't think I could afford $400 a month off of my paycheck. I'm happy you got a delightful child out of the interchange, but that's really unfortunate.
Okay,
were you already divorced or separated when she committed the fraud?
You are roboting, Mike.
She met like 7 or 8 years after we split up.
But were you legally divorced and stuff? So how do they come after you for something she did that had nothing to do with you?
The argument that my ex's attorney made, because this was basically the government was suing my ex, and my ex was suing me over it. And the argument was that because my daughter benefited from it, and if I was paying, more child support, she wouldn't have had to commit welfare fraud. And at the time, I didn't have enough money for an attorney, so basically the judge agreed with her attorney.
Ugh. Man, that sucks.
Now, as I said, it started in September of this year or last year, when they, everything the paperwork finally went through. It's supposed to be for 40 weeks. And but of course, there's also interest that is accumulating, so it'll be a lot longer than 40 weeks.
Mhm.
It'll probably be about a year or more before I actually finish paying it off total.
Ugh. Wow. Good luck with that. That's annoying. No wonder you had a hard time saving up for a computer.
Yeah, because they literally take $100 out of every paycheck, and I get paid weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
You just did.
Can I ask another question?
You just did.
Oh my God.
I can do this all day.
Just ask the question. Yvette.
What the hell's going on with LDG and the...
It was
Pick
something he was
the
complaining about
sign.
earlier.
Pick the sign.
Oh, my image. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
for people who don't mind working for free. Figured it's perfect for this stream.
Okay.
Better
You
to
had
work
to
for
have heard
free
the
than
earlier
work for
conversation.
paywalls.
Do you have anything cheery ever to say, LDG?
Yes, once cheery
Oh.
stuff actually happens.
Dude, I'm trying to tell you, it's beneficial for you because you don't want a car not
Bye,
recognized
Indie
on the
Tiger.
street. Jeez.
No, Elihu, they do
I know it
that
was a
other
few minutes
ways.
ago, but goodbye. I missed that you said you were leaving.
Oh, I just saw that myself. Damn it.
Who left?
Indie Tiger.
I'm going to go back and
Oh.
watch his video after the live stream. The chat.
I just quickly watched the nitpicks. They were brilliant.
Mike hasn't seen it yet.
I take it you didn't go see the movie and then you're back. I take it you just left us briefly and now you're back.
Hey, Crimson Mist, good to see you.
I'm actually surprised Yvette was able to join the stream because I canceled my StreamYards payment, so I'm not paying for it anymore.
Oh.
If you're on the free version, you're only supposed to be able to have 6 people.
Billing cycle.
Yeah, possibly.
Possibly.
No, I canceled it back in January, Elihu.
Oh, how are you able to get 7 on here?
I don't know. This is the first time it's happened
Don't
since
say
January.
It's
anything.
actually
The computer could be
Yeah,
listening.
I actually hacked my account. I don't count as a single person on anybody's StreamYard now.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah,
honestly
I
don't
hacked
know if
my
you're telling
account,
the
like-
truth or not, LDG. That's why.
I
Is
know.
his lips moving?
One of the funny things I
Come on. Megan's right. Are your lips moving?
LDG.
My
one of
lips
the
are
things I
moving,
like
I'm
to
always
do,
lying.
Like when I go to McDonald's or something and I'm using their Wi-Fi, you know how they have everyone set to priority 2 on access to the Wi-Fi bandwidth?
Oh yeah.
I always, whenever I join up, I log in and I because they don't have any protection, I give myself priority 1 status and I give everyone else priority 3.
That's a
So I
total
can
dick
use more of
move.
the bandwidth.
Oh my gosh.
Ugh. I'd be annoyed, but I never go to McDonald's, so.
Well, there's usually like maybe.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
more
I would
people
change the
using it at
password
most.
to
Be
I love
arrested
dicks.
for hacking.
I haven't sat down inside of McDonald's in years.
Hacking is just permission they gave you they didn't know of.
Well, I look at it as their fault for not giving themselves better protection.
No doubt.
Exactly. It's like piracy. You know?
But
The only
with
person
violence,
responsible for
I go to
piracy is
McDonald's,
the,
I go to
are the
McDonald's
other
with
company that
love.
makes it. Oh, I'm sorry. 3 people at once. Go ahead. What?
The victims, though, were the other customers.
Yeah.
not the McDonald's store.
Yeah.
So good luck trying to get the jury to see it your way.
How were they a victim?
Their
Not only that, it's not like I'm
internet
cutting
was
off
made
their
slower.
access. I'm just limiting their bandwidth.
Yeah, they still have access. They weren't denied access.
They were
Prior-
deprioritized.
Well, that's an algorithm.
No, it
No,
was
it's not.
his doing.
Yeah,
it was his doing that.
He
That
just
they,
die out, or or did
The
my
device itself allowed it.
LDG.
The
He
restaurant
purposely, yeah.
set everybody to be equal. And
Yeah,
he
so they should have
decided
bought a
that
router that did that.
he deserved more access.
He purposely
No, he
limited
just
people's
used
access. No,
he
purposely
used the
limited
feature that was in front of him. He didn't
All right.
break
Yeah,
any
okay,
rules. He
good
didn't go
luck.
bypass
Good luck
anything.
being the lawyer.
He
and
limited
see how it
everyone's internet
I
access.
would no. You make it sound like it all comes down to law, dude. It's
It
legal
is.
as long as you don't get caught.
No, it's
Yeah, if he doesn't
Okay,
get
yeah,
caught,
again, go
what
tell
does the
again.
court have to do with
tell
anything?
that to the judge.
I
That-
really
Your
hope
Honor,
there's no
the
lawyers
judge sees it.
watching.
All right.
If I don't get caught,
As much as I want to argue the legal ethics of doing certain things, the stream has been for 2 hours. I'm done with my cigar, and I want to go see Mrs. Vile, as I haven't seen her in 2 weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. But we'll end it with everyone's favorite clip of me getting shot. So, you guys want to
Later,
play
guys.
anything?
I'm gonna have some
anything
scrambled
before we go?
eggs.
Bird,
what?
you want to play
Guys, you guys
something
want to
again?
plug anything before
Yes.
I go?
I already plugged
Do we
it.
have a?
Why
do we
does
have
everybody
something
have to
tonight?
frickin' be Bird's butler, for God's sakes? What?
Twilight Zone is on Birdo Prey 5X channel. It's already there.
Yay!
Thank you.
Want to get some people to get some views, man. Try
All
to
right.
help you out.
I appreciate it.
All right. Later, folkses.
Bye, y'all.
Later.
No one else has anything?
You should go off with the Barney song.
All right, you're 19 years old now. I figure it's about time you got one after all your complaining.
Die, Danny, die!
Oh my goodness, that's very dramatic.